RogueCon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back. It's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at roguecon23.com. That's RogueCon, ROGUECON 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Welcome back to No Waco. I am your co-hostess with the mostest, Hailey, and I am actually podcasting from my kitchen today because we had a pretty crazy winter storm. But nevertheless, I still have a fabulous guest with me here today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi. Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Sinnett. I am a business owner here in town in Waco. I run my own trauma-informed life coaching practice. I'm also a licensed clinical social worker and do some therapy on the side. But yeah, my name's Sam. I met Hailey, I don't know, it was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It was like late last year, actually. What is time now? I do that a lot where I'm like, oh, it was just a few days ago. Wrong. Months.
Yeah. The pandemic has really just warped everyone's concept of time, I think.
Seriously. But thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? A lot of these podcasts I do, I'm talking to people who are from Waco, born and raised, but you are a transplant like me. So tell me a little bit about your journey to Waco.
Yeah, so I have been in Waco on and off now for 12 years, which is insane. That has been over a decade. I moved here in 2010 from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. If anybody that listens to this knows Michigan, I'm a Youper. We're very proud of that name.
Okay.
But yeah, I moved here to go to Baylor and then graduated in 2014. I moved away and then Waco sucked me back in. I got a job after my graduate program at UT. So I found my way back, wasn't planning on it, but here we are. So yeah.
So what brought you back? What was the pull to kind of set up some roots here in Waco?
Yeah, honestly, at the time, it was just, I needed a job after my graduate degree in social work. So I was just down the road in Austin, and a mentor that I had met through going to Baylor offered me a position to come back as a social worker. And I felt like at the time I had to take that job. I knew it was more of a strategic move. It wasn't necessarily out of like a huge desire to kind of come back here, but it's grown on me since returning. And I think it was sort of meant to be now that I am where I'm at.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about like what you do like day to day as a life coach, as a trauma-informed counselor, and as a business owner.
Yeah. So my day to day has actually significantly shifted more recently because when I first started my coaching business, I was still working 9 to 5. So I was still a social worker 9 to 5, and I was building up my coaching practice alongside of that very demanding career.
Right.
So only recently, as in 3 weeks ago, did I leave my 9 to 5 and my more traditional social work career to pursue my coaching business full time. So I preface it with that because my day to day looks very different. So yeah, now I wake up, I do some sort of like self-compassion or self-care exercises for myself. I don't rush into my day. That's been the biggest shift, is I really give myself space to come into my day.
Okay.
And think about like what I need to do or what I want to do. I meet with a few clients. I don't force myself to stack appointments or anything like that. So I see some coaching clients, maybe some therapy clients, because I still engage in some of the private practice work. And then at some point I get my booty outdoors. Like I said, like being from Michigan, and I really grew up in the woods, like truly my mom's house is in the woods. I grew up with living in a really rural environment, and just kind of realized that I need that time to sort of ground. And so at some point I get out and about, get my dog out, I go to the gym, and that's kind of the flow. It's so much different the last like 3 weeks than it had been before. I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and I had talked to Ashton before, and I had her on the podcast as well. And something that we just talked about was kind of taking the road less traveled. You know, just getting away from, like you said, you just left your 9-to-5 job to pursue something different. And I think that that's something really cool about the group that you guys run, is about talking about those options, especially for women, that you don't have to be tied down to a certain career your whole life. But speaking about Don't Ask Me Twice, you want to talk a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't know if that would come up or not, but yeah. So Don't Ask Me Twice is a new community space here in town. It's based in Waco. However, it is open to people just Central Texas. We've had women from Belton and Temple come. We had someone from Hillsboro come at one point to our events. But essentially, we are just a space that is no strings attached. Women can come, get together, meet each other, make friends, and have fun and grow in confidence. It comes out of my coaching practice. So it is a desire that I've had to build out in my coaching practice for a while. After trying to make friends in this town as an adult woman and finding it very difficult. Nobody tells you how difficult it is to make friends as an adult. Like no one has that conversation ever. And then all of a sudden you're just here and you're like, well, wait, how does that actually work now? So our space is really for any woman to just come. There is no catch to it. We just come and hang out. My co-founder of the group, Ashton Quarles, started off as being a client of mine. And we just realized we had a lot of the same desire for where we saw a need in this town and we wanted to fill it. So we kind of partnered up. So yeah, we do monthly events. Most of the time they are free. We're doing a Galentine's event later this month. That's a ticketed event just because we're having so many things involved with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just been really fun and we've gotten really good feedback. I think the thing with Waco is that if you're not really embedded into a subgroup, for example, you're not a Baylor alum, you're not a mom, you're not Christian. Like if you don't fall into one of these big categories, sometimes you feel left out. And heck, like even if you are in one of those categories, you still might feel left out. Yeah, so we kind of feel like we're a catch-all. Like anyone who's just feeling like they need a different group or like they need a new support system, they need something to do, they need community in some capacity, like we just want to hold space for that. So
yeah, and you know, I really love that. Like I said, as a transplant, that's something that I've literally been looking for since I moved here. And when I kind of heard about your group and heard about what you guys were trying to do, I wanted to get in on the ground floor and at least try to help lift you guys up and boost you a little bit. Just because, like I said, that's something that I've been looking for, and I've lived here for 6 years now. And it feels impossible really as an adult to make friends. And they tell you, okay, well, make friends. I'm a college student, make friends at school. Okay, well, like then a pandemic happens and then what are you supposed to do? So really, I think that you filled like the perfect niche of helping people make friends, which sounds a little silly, you know, because when, you know, we're kids, we make friends, you know, every single day. But you know, as adults, it really is hard. And I think that you are really filling a big gap in the community.
RogueCon 23. That's right. It is here. It's not back. It's here. It's the first one. Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It is all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues, January 20th through the 22nd of 2023. Now, if you want to go, you got to get tickets, and tickets are on sale at RogueCon23.com. That's RogueCon, RogueCon 23.com. Be there. I'm going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. Let's go.
Thanks for the affirmation. Yeah, we're just winging it, man. I mean, like literally when we first started it, we came up with the concept in Panera in October of 2021. And I was like, what if we just start? Someone's just got to start. We're not perfect. Like it's okay. Like, let's just start and see if anybody cares or wants to participate. And then we had that first event that's where I met you at Union Hall, and we're like, oh my gosh, people actually showed up. We strategically invited some of our closest friends because we're like, okay, if no one shows up, it'll just be a get together with a few of our friends.
Right.
But we had strangers show up, and we were like, oh my gosh, okay, people need this, women need this. So yeah, if you're a woman in the community and you're just like, hey, I need a new friend, or I need something to do, something to fill my time that's just not the norm, and you want a reason to show up for yourself, like that is our space. You can find us on Instagram. We're at Don't Ask Twice on Instagram. So
yep, it's a great follow for Waco women. So you have like your hands in all kinds of different baskets right now. So what are some of your big goals, like as a business owner, as a life coach, as a counselor, and just as a person for 2022?
Yeah. So the first one that came up for me when you said it, just as a person, I was like, be happy. The last 2 years have been hard, as like an understatement. For me, it's really been the last decade of my life has really been challenging. I've experienced a lot of loss. I lost my dad, and I lost one of my younger cousins and a friend of mine from college. And it's just been one thing after another. And I'm like, I just want to be happy. I just want to do things and take control of my life in a way that makes me feel joy, and be unapologetic about feeling joy. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's a big part of the reason that I pulled the plug on my 9-to-5. It's not that I didn't feel fulfillment from that, but ultimately I was too stressed. I wasn't showing up as a version of myself that I know is like true. And so, yeah, this year, I just want to be happy and do those things. So that's my main goal, which is why one of my big things is like starting my morning off slow and not just like rushing into my day and starting to check the boxes. So that's a big thing. Professionally, my biggest thing was creating something in the community. I'm an extroverted person. I'm not meant to be in my house 24/7.
Right.
It's just not my thing. So I really wanted to create something in the community that was sustainable. I feel like I'm already doing that, but I want to keep expanding on it. Another piece is I want to get what's called my professional coaching certification. It's called just your PCC, if anybody's familiar with the coaching industry. So I'm going for that this year. It's more of like an expert level coaching certification. So I really want to do that. And then I want to travel.
I feel that.
I am itching to travel. That was a huge part of my life before the pandemic. I would just like get up and go take a weekend trip or hop on a plane. And I want that like spontaneity in my life back again. So that's another goal. Yeah.
Well, and I love all that. Obviously it's one of my favorite podcasts. They always say it's hard to be a person. And it just is. And I love that you're putting your happiness first in 2022. And I think that that's something that we can all kind of commiserate with and all kind of work towards. I really love that. So obviously we're not going to give away all your tips and tricks at being a life coach because we want people to work with you. But what's one tip that I can give my listeners to kind of help their year get off to a better start?
Self-compassion. This is different from self-care. It's different from working on your self-esteem. Okay. Self-compassion is the intentional act of treating yourself the way you would your best friend, your closest loved one. Maybe if you don't even have a person, your pet. It's like, how would you treat the person that you love the most when they are experiencing suffering or discomfort? It is different from self-care, because self-care to me it's fluffy and it's kind of band-aidy. Like self-care is, there's nothing wrong with doing a face mask. There's nothing wrong with a little retail therapy here and there, whatever it is, but it's a band-aid. Self-esteem ebbs and flows, right? Like we have seasons of our life where we're successful and we're like, hell yeah, I feel great about myself. And then we have seasons of our life where we're like, dang, what is going on? Like, I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling good about myself right now. So self-esteem comes and goes. We cannot rely on self-esteem to get us through, but self-compassion is an intentional act that you can be practicing every day. There is a website by Kristen Neff, who is kind of the lead researcher in the field of mental health and psychology around self-compassion. She has beautiful exercises on there, but that's something I feel like I'm trying to work on practicing more, and I'm trying to educate as many people as possible that like that is something that can really aid in overall well-being and help them just really stay in the present and not get too caught up in, you know, fear of the future or fear of what's coming and uncertainty, or really just, you know, staying in the past, you know, staying stuck.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say is look up self-compassion, practice it as much as you can.
Of course. I mean, get those good habits going in 2022, but also throughout the whole year. I mean, we're in February now, but I'm a big believer in make positive habits happen all year round. So it's been great to have you on. Before I let you go, I always ask at the very end, what's one thing that you want Waco to know about Sam?
Oh my gosh, what is one thing I want Waco to know about me? I'm available, I guess, you know, not even just from a professional standpoint, but I feel like one of my gifts is that I'm a connector. Like I really can talk to anybody about anything at this point.
Right.
You can put me in a room of people and I will end up connecting with someone. And so, yeah, I just think if you know, you need a resource, or you don't know where to go for something, or you need a friend, or you need like a positive social media account or whatever it is, like I guess like I'm available. And also, if you are out there and you are similar to me in that you are Italian, you are an Enneagram 8, you are bold, direct, you are not from the South originally, you are not alone. I am here and you are my peoples, and I would love to connect with you as well, because I'm definitely not the status quo Wacoan. I don't think. I mean, what even is that anymore? But when I first moved here, there was definitely a version of that.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm probably not that person. So yeah, I don't know if that's what you're looking for. I don't really know how to answer that question, but that's what comes up.
Perfect. I love it. And speaking of connecting, where can the listeners find you?
Sure. Yeah. So most of my content, my life, my personality is housed on my Instagram. So you can follow me. My handle is that's what Sam _said. So that's what Sam _said. You can also check out my website. It is just simply www.samsinet.com if you're interested in what I have to offer the world. But yeah, stay connected with me there.
It's been so great having you on, Sam. Thank you for meeting with me in my kitchen this week. Just because of, you know, the Texas weather, it throws us for a loop sometimes.
Yes.
This has been a beautiful conversation, and I've got a lot out of it, and some new things that I can take with me in the rest of my year. And I hope that you stay safe and stay warm.
Thanks, Hailey. I appreciate you.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Join the ultimate celebration of digital content with its creators, passionate fans, and industry experts. It's all happening in downtown Waco across multiple venues on January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. Tickets are on sale now at roguecon23.com.